In a major spiritual and political statement, the exiled Tibetan leader, the Dalai Lama, announced on Wednesday, June 2nd, that the 600-year-old institution of the Dalai Lama will continue after his death. The decision carries deep significance, not only for Tibetans, but for millions of followers worldwide who revere him as a symbol of peace, compassion, and resistance. Seen as the living face of Tibetan identity, the Dalai Lama's choice ensures the legacy of his lineage will live on, despite increasing pressure and control from the Chinese government over religious traditions in Tibet. The 14th Dalai Lama, believed by Tibetans to be the reincarnation of a centuries-old spiritual legacy, has confirmed that the institution of the Dalai Lama will continue after his death. His powerful message came just weeks ahead of his 90th birthday on July 6th. In a statement, the spiritual leader said he had received countless appeals over the last 14 years, urging him to ensure the continuation of his role. These requests, he said, came from Tibetan communities in exile, Buddhist followers across the Himalayan region, Mongolia, parts of China, and even Tibet itself. In accordance with all these requests, I am affirming that the institution of the Dalai Lama will continue, he declared in what many see as a moment of spiritual defiance and cultural preservation. Dalai Lama, who fled to India after Chinese troops crushed a Tibetan uprising in Lhasa in 1959, has lived in exile along with thousands of fellow Tibetans for over 6 decades. Now approaching his 90th birthday, concerns are growing over the future of Tibetan leadership and the sensitive issue of his succession. While Beijing brands him a separatist, the globally respected Dalai Lama insists he is merely a simple Buddhist monk. Tibetans in exile fear China may appoint its own successor in an attempt to tighten its grip on the region it seized in 1950. But in a firm declaration on Wednesday, the Dalai Lama said that only the India-based Gaden Phodrang Trust, his official office, holds the exclusive right to identify the 15th Dalai Lama. I hereby reiterate that the Gaden Phodrang Trust has sole authority to recognize the future reincarnation. No one else has any such authority to interfere, he stated. The message sends a clear warning to China and a reassurance to Tibetans that the spiritual lineage will not be dictated by politics.
Had a discussion on this, and the resolution was passed unanimously by the conference. Resolution of heartfelt gratitude to His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama. On September 24, 2011, during the 11th Tibetan Religious Conference, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the savior and symbol of Tibet and Tibetans, Dharma King of the Three Realms, said, "As far as 1969, I made clear that concerned people should decide whether the Dalai Lama's reincarnation should continue in the future." His Holiness further expressed, "When I reach the age of Kendun, I will consult the high lamas of the Tibetan Buddhist traditions, the Tibetan public and other concerned people who follow Tibetan Buddhism, and re-evaluate whether the Dalai Lama's reincarnation should continue or not. On that basis, we will take a decision." Consequently, various sections of people, including the participants of the 14th Tibetan Religious Conference, Special General Meeting, Special General Tibetan Conference, Tibetans both in and outside Tibet, Buddhist brothers and sisters from Himalayan region, Mongolia, China, and believers across the globe appealed, and earnest requests with single-minded devotion was appealed to His Holiness the Dalai Lama to continue the institution of the Dalai Lama for the benefit of all sentient beings in general and Buddhists in particular. In response to this overwhelming supplication, His Holiness has shown infinite compassion and finally agreed to accept our appeal on this special occasion of his 90th birthday. Hence, during the 15th Tibetan Religious Conference held in Dharamsala, the participants of the conference, led by eminent lamas of different religious traditions, representatives and devotees, conveyed their heartfelt gratitude to His Holiness the Dalai Lama for his grandeur and kindness, and reached a consensus on the following important points. 1. The participants of the 15th Tibetan Religious Conference led by esteemed religious heads and realized masters of different religious traditions, made the unanimous resolution to support His Holiness the Dalai Lama's precious words on this significant subject, and this statement shall be made public far and wide. Number two, the core process of recognizing the reincarnation of His Holiness the Dalai Lama is as per the unique Tibetan Buddhist tradition. Hence, we not only strongly condemn the People's Republic of China's usage of reincarnation subject for their political gain, and we shall never accept it. Number three, Tibetans both inside and outside Tibet made a pledge to maintain national unity of solidarity and continue to struggle for the just cause of Tibet in a bid to extend wholehearted cooperation to the fulfillment of His Holiness the Dalai Lama's noble wishes and aspirations.
Tibetan exiles are also seen grateful for good news after Dalai Lama says, trust will lead search for successor.
मैं तो बहुत खुश लगा दल्ला मुझे तो हम लोग खाली हम लोग तिब्बत का नहीं है जी ऑल वर्ल्ड का गुरु है दल्ला मुझे तो सबको मिस दुनिया को सबको देख रहा ना इंसान भी हो जो भी हो जानवर सबको दल्ला मुझे को बहुत मीन्स क्या बोलेगा अभी बोल भी नहीं सकते वो उनका ना लाभ सबके लिए है.
We are very glad, to hear this good news. Very, very great news for me, for Lingor. Thank you very much.
Why is it very great news?
Because he is our living Buddha. He is a compassionate leader. He is compassionate for the world. He is only thinking about the world, not only thinking for the India or not for the Tibetan. He is thinking about all world. Everyone is giving respect to him. So I'm very glad to hear this thing. Thank you very much.
It's very important. I feel his Institute of Dalai Lama is continuous, of course. It's very, very important. So not even for the Tibetan people, it's important for this Mother Earth. So it's very important. It's continuous. He always promised the people of the Tibetans, special for the Tibetans and inside the Tibet and outside the Tibet, he always promised, I come. If I come in a free country, not in a dictatorship on other countries. He comes in a free country and he continues his 14 Dalai Lama's job left. He can continue all this.